Go. Go. Will there be a stream at normal taco time today? Probably not, but I gotta sort out some documents. I just want to have everything, all the bases covered this time so that nothing goes wrong while I'm in Japan for a couple of months again. Yeah, a lot of, let's say, additional paperwork that needs to be done. I will try to get at least 3 streams each week, rather, until I go to Japan and I'm settled, and then I can stream normally again. But there might be a chance where I have to go for a short travel to get everything done perfectly. Such a headache being human. I've sorted out everything, or most of the things, I think. I just gotta figure out a couple of things, like if I can survive with the PC the company will lend me, or do I invest and just get a quality PC? Should really move to Japan already. I mean, I've considered it, but at the same time, it's not like I don't have monthly fees for my current place. Monthly maintenance, utilities, taxes, etc. It's not like they disappear while I'm out of the country. If anything, like my monthly costs will be tripled because, let's be real, rent in Tokyo is not cheap. Like, it's just the monthly costs, not to mention any other costs that come with it. I mean, on the plus side, I mean, food costs will be down in Japan. Food is cheaper and yen is lower. But like, I've done the calculations. I've punched in the numbers to compare. In the end, traveling does become lower because rent alone, like monthly rent alone, is pretty high. 14-hour flights are rough, but to me, honestly, any flight that's probably longer than 2 hours is pretty much the same to me. And I also realized with the previous trip that I do feel homesick. Because I've explained to you guys how I have perfected, or almost perfected, like living comfortably over time with my setup and stuff. And usually, like, even if I get, you know, the PC and stuff provided, it's just not the same. The desk is too small, the chair is not as comfortable, there's not enough space to fit both my laptop and monitors, etc. I am okay with adapting to my environment, but I do feel, you know, I do miss, you know, where everything is catered towards my needs in a way. Cover should provide something close to work housing. Like, I'm sure management probably also thought about it at the same time. It's not like a here's a place, you were staying here kind of thing. Like, it's not very ideal from, like, for example, a security standpoint, or, you know, various reasons. Yeah, I mean, on paper, like, a lot of things sound very, it would make sense. Like, they would have whole dormitory where people can just, the traveling overseas talents would go and stay. But like, there's a lot of problems with that if you think about it. You'll be like, oh, but why don't you just come up with a 3D studio in the Americas? But if you think about it, one, it costs quite a lot, quite a lot to build a 3D studio. Two, if it was built, for example, with slightly lower spec equipment and stuff, in the end, a lot of the members, like, North America is pretty big, you know? Like, you're gonna have to travel anyways. If you're gonna travel anyways, would you rather go to a studio with a lower spec equipment, or would you rather just go to Japan where they have invested, like, the best of their tech, you know? In the end, it's like, it makes more sense to choose travel to Japan. It's not like you just build the studio and it's done, no more costs. There's upkeep, you know, you have to have staff there. It's not like the talents themselves run everything by using the studio. Security, all kinds of things. So it's not like the possibilities haven't been considered. It's just there's a lot of things behind the scenes too that's not realistic to make it work sometimes. And it's not like we haven't looked into like renting time at already existing studios. I have to say, the costs in the Americas, in Europe too, I think, Kiara looked into that before, is quite high. renting is quite expensive. It's like basically the same as like music rights to copyright. I saw that Iris talked about it a little bit. To sing one English song, it probably costs depending on how you use it, especially since, you know, our lives are monetized too. It probably costs nearly as much as the entire live. Who knows? It's also a problem with translated lyrics as well. Like we'd have to ask permission to officially translate it or use official translations and stuff. There's a lot of you know, hoops to get through that I guess some don't know about too. And sometimes you weigh the options and in the end it's like it's not really worth it. Sometimes it's worth it. It's not like we don't look into it. It's just I guess we don't really say it unless it comes up. Time and money. The foundation of society. Do you think it's easier for non-corporate VTubers content creators? I don't think it's easier per se. You have to know that all fan creations, secondary creations, are always in the gray zone. And of course, if you have bigger influence, it is more important for you to follow the procedures as strictly as possible so it doesn't become a problem. But that's a whole different discussion altogether, I feel. Technically, if you actually look into the laws and stuff, selling like fan art and stuff would technically, you know, is a gray zone. But the companies don't strike them down unless they overstep their boundaries. Like there are situations where, you know, the IP owners will step in. Copyright and stuff and everything is just complicated. But just know that as a bigger entity, I guess, corporation too, you know, let's just say like one person's action might make it difficult for everyone involved in a way. I know it might be frustrating that there are so many restrictions and stuff, or, you know, a lot of hoops to go through, but that's just, I think, the responsibility of being a part of a bigger group in a way. It's just how I always thought about it. I mean, there are benefits too, like if we have a good, you know, relation with other, you know, IPs and stuff, they have a good image of us, then we get opportunities down the line too. There are always pros and cons to everything. It's always hard to find the balance, but finding a way to make everything balance and work, I guess, comes with the job.